Now, obviously, as soon as Sugar Sean O'Malley knocked out Aljamain Sterling, there's been loads of comparisons made between him and Conor McGregor. Obviously, when Conor McGregor knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds, it was a star-making performance. Now, there are some similarities. Obviously, Jose Aldo, don't get it twisted, Aljamain Sterling was like a long reigning champion. Like, he made 3 title defenses. It's nothing compared to what Jose Aldo did. Obviously, Jose Aldo was on a 10-year unbeaten run. But I'll be honest with you, despite the fact that the UFC machine is pushing Sean O'Malley, I just don't think his fame is going to be on the level of Conor McGregor. And there's several reasons for this, but I'm going to name a few now. One of the reasons is because Sean O'Malley just does not have the charisma of Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, when he came out, back in the day when he was witty, before his mind was infested with cocaine and whiskey, he used to have the sharpest tongue in the UFC. He used to have the greatest comebacks. He used to have the wittiest lines. He used to have the most charisma in the UFC, and that was just undeniable. He was just known for his charisma. Sean O'Malley is not that type of... He doesn't portray himself as that type of character, despite the flashy clothes and the colourful hair and the eccentric wardrobe and such. He doesn't really have a boisterous personality. He's got a personality which is more reserved and laid back and cool. He's more like a stoner kid, like someone who's more laid back. Like, his personality is more similar to Nate Diaz than it is to Conor McGregor, right? So that's one reason why I don't think Sean O'Malley is going to get to the level of a Conor McGregor. He just doesn't have the charisma and the personality. And let's be real, one of the reasons why Conor McGregor blew up was the fact that, despite the fact that he had a great personality, the Irish accent made him a bit distinctively different, but from an organic place. It wasn't like put on the way Sean O'Malley's doing. He didn't have to colour his hair. He didn't have to put on wear flashy clothes to really stand out. His voice and his charisma and the way he carried himself was enough to do it. Another reason why I don't think it's going to happen is the fact that there's so many other factors that was to do with Conor McGregor that made him blow up. Obviously, I mentioned it before. When he knocked out Jose Aldo was considered one of the greatest of all time at that point. He was unbeaten for 10 years. I mean, this was one of the greatest. He is still one of the greatest fighters that's ever lived. But when he was on that 10-year unbeaten run, the fact that he knocked him out in 13 seconds for such a highly anticipated fight, it just blew him to another stratosphere, Conor McGregor. It blew Conor McGregor to another level, right? I just don't think that that's what's going to happen with Sugar Sean O'Malley, because of the fact that, let's be real, even though Aljamain Sterling deserves more respect, and he is to some extent a respected champion because he's made 3 title defenses, he wasn't unbeaten for 10 years, and on top of that, he didn't have the level of respect surrounding his name the way Jose Aldo did. Jose Aldo, his name had a level of reverement to it. There was fighters that feared him, like they saw what he'd done to Uriah Faber's legs and they were like, this guy's an absolute animal, and he had a fear factor around him. Aljamain Sterling didn't really have that. So when Sugar Sean O'Malley managed to knock him out, it doesn't have as much of an impact as it did when Conor McGregor knocked him out. And not only that, when you look at the press conference of the Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo fight, all throughout the press conference he was trolling him, he got in his head, the trash talk was relentless. This is not what happened with Sugar Sean O'Malley and what's his name, Aljamain Sterling. So also there's other factors that are involved, and obviously Conor McGregor fought Khabib, and that got the East versus West dynamic to it. You've got like the whole of Russia backing Khabib, and you got the whole of the Western world backing Conor McGregor, and it made the highest pay-per-view in the UFC history. On top of that, he went into another sport and he fought Floyd Mayweather. Now, Floyd Mayweather is a massive name in his own right in boxing. He fought him in a completely different sport, and even though he lost the fight, he gave a valiant effort. So because of all of these factors, I just don't see how Sugar Sean O'Malley gets to that level. I just don't see it. He don't get it twisted. He's going to be a needle pusher, and he's going to push the needle, and he's going to be a relatively big star for the UFC. But I just don't think he's going to get to the level of a Conor McGregor. No matter how much the UFC push him, I just don't see it happening, because with him, it doesn't seem organic. It seems forced. The way he colours his hair, the wardrobe he wears, the eccentric... He tries to come across as eccentric, all of that. It just doesn't seem like it's actually him. It seems like he's doing it to get attention. Well, with Conor McGregor, it felt like it came from an organic place, because now that Conor McGregor is no longer who he once was, even now, when Conor McGregor tries to force it and tries to become charismatic on the mic, it just doesn't come across as genuine, because that's not who he really is anymore. Well, back in the day, it was who he actually was, and that's why it resonated with UFC fans all across the world. But tell me what you think below. Do you think Sugar Sean O'Malley, with the UFC's push, can become as big as Conor McGregor? I just don't see it happening. I just don't think he's got the charisma. I don't think he's got as much hype. I don't think he's as charismatic, like entertaining. I mean, there's a lot of factors that made Conor McGregor as big as he did, as big as he was. But Sugar Sean O'Malley, I think he could become a pay-per-view star in his own right. But I just don't think he's going to reach the level of a McGregor. I just don't see it happening. Tell me what you think below, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace.